All right, welcome back, everybody. Throwin Mitts. I'm Ryan Mosier. Back from a great event over at the UFC Apex Vegas 59. A lot of really good matchups. I called it. I said there were going to be a couple sneaky ones in there, and this card went 10 for 10 with finishes in all of its fights. The Miller and Mo Usman, both of those tough fights ending in finishes. Love to see it. Fantastic. The Brian Battle knockout, the head kick was phenomenal. I love to see that. Unfortunately, Vicente Luque couldn't get it done. I feel bad. Really for him. I mean, that's a bummer. I really thought he was going to come through with that one, but Jeff Neal came out, with fire and he did the damn thing. So good for him. And of course, in the main event, Jamal Hill getting it done. I went 7-3 on the night for UFC Vegas 59. Brings my overall with the last three events to 27-10 and maintaining that win percentage of 73% on our picks. So feeling really good about that. Excited to continue with that kind of streak with that. It's the intuition. I don't know. I'm doing my research and it's the intuition. So I'm going to keep it up and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Hope you guys are having a lot of fun following along as well. Let's get right into it then with UFC Fight Night San Diego. The main event being Marlon Chito Vera and Dominick the Dominator Cruz. This one is honestly, I think it's going to be phenomenal. A lot of really good fights in this one that I'm excited to see how they play out. Of course, as always, we're going to start with the main event and digress into the prelims so everyone can get the take on this main event here, starting with Marlon Chito Vera and Dominick Cruz. Marlon number 5 in the bantamweight division, Dominick Cruz number 8. Chito Vera, the -225 favorite, plus 190 for Dominick Cruz. Getting right into it, these gentlemen coming into this fight, 19-7-1 for Chito, 24-3 for Dominick Cruz, both coming off of wins. Marlon coming out of Ecuador, United States for Dominick Cruz, 5'8", 5'8". A little bit of a weight differential for Dominick Cruz. He's at 149, Chito Vera at 136. And the reach advantage going to go to Chito Vera. Getting into the numbers here, the significant strikes, 4.33 at a 51% significant strike rate. For Vera, a 3.82 at a 33% strike rate for Cruz. The absorb per minute is a little bit alarming here, 4.99, damn near 5 for Vera, 2.56 for Dominick Cruz, and his defense levels out to 71%. The grappling numbers are what I'm really taking a look at here. Although I know Vera can handle his own on his back, he is a grappler. I think the wrestling coming out of Dominick Cruz could be a little bit overwhelming. A 2.88 takedown advantage over 15 minutes at a 43% takedown accuracy, and his takedown defense being at 83%. Although, if this does go to the ground, you see Marlon Vera with a 1.13 submission average over 15 minutes. That means it's not going to be a problem for him to be on the ground because he is going to be throwing up submissions. He's a grappler. One mistake for Dominick Cruz could really prove to be a big problem here. And I see that, in my eyes, the significant strike rate goes in favor of Marlon Vera. It's just that absorb per minute that really, kind of has me feeling mixed about this decision. Starting off with this one, which is a very difficult fight to kind of understand and see where it's going to go, because I know that if it goes down to the ground, Marlon Vera is not going to be afraid of that fight. It just comes down to the question, is Dominick Cruz really going to be a factor on the ground? Because his strike, is he going to want to take it to the ground? Because right now the striking numbers are heavily in Vera's favor. Although that absorb per minute is 4.99, Dominick Cruz only has a 33% significant strike rate at a 3.82. So it's fairly low. So looking at this one, it's very difficult. but I'm going to have to go with the fan favorite, the minus 225 favorite, Marlon Chito Vera. And I want to see Vera win this fight. I'm trying to keep my bias out of it, but I want to see Marlon Chito Vera win this fight over Dominick Cruz. And I think, Vera coming into this fight with a 3-fight win streak, and I think he's back on track. I think right now he's more focused and feeling better than ever. So this is going to be a very exciting and a lively matchup, and I think it's going to be very interesting, but I got to go with Marlon Vera on this fight. And, of course, we will see how that one plays out Saturday, August 13th. Main card starting at 7 p.m. Getting right into the co-main, the featured bout here. Nate Landwehr and David Onama. Landwehr, the plus 230 underdog. Onama, the minus 275 favorite. A little bit about these guys. Nate the Train debuted January of 2020. He's a freestyle fighter with 8 wins by knockout. David Onama debuted October of 2021. He is a striker with 6 first-round finishes. Looking at this one, these fighters coming into it 15-4 for Nate the Train, 10-1 for David Onama. His only fight, or his only loss, I might say, coming to Mason Jones, I believe. Yep, Mason Jones. So, and I'm sure that one is a dogfight. But both coming off of wins in their last fight. David Onama coming out of Uganda, fighting out of Uganda. He's from Uganda, I might say. The height advantage going to Onama. Weight advantage going to Nate Landwehr. Reach advantage, 2-inch reach advantage for Onama here. And getting into the numbers, 6.51 landed per minute at a 52% significant strike rate for Nate the Train. 5.61 at a 48% significant strike rate for Onama. Now, the absorb per minute here is so high for both of them, although it is almost 6 for Nate the Train Landwehr. I kind of see those as negating each other. I think this is going to be a firefight. If they do stand in the cage and really throw the mitts, then we're in for a good one here. Getting into the grappling numbers, these are going to be, slightly in Onama's favor, although he's coming in at a 1.09 takedown average over 15 minutes, only at a 22% takedown accuracy, to Nate's 87% takedown defense. And so that's why I say I think these guys are going to keep it on the feet. I think they're going to really have a striking match here, and I think this one's going to be very exciting, a fun one to watch. I'm again, 2 fights in a row where it's so difficult to really choose a winner here because I love David Onama, and I think the hype behind him is real. Although Nate has a little bit more UFC octagon experience, and truthfully, I think the experience, and because Onama's fought, some good guys, but I feel like this is his first real test against a worthy opponent, somebody who can really, do some damage here. And I know Nate, he's had, a couple of fights against some really good guys. You see, he's fought Ludovit Klein, beat him, although he lost the fight before that. And then you see he beat Darren Elkins, which was just a crazy ass fight, which was a phenomenal fight. And it went to the 3rd round. He went 5 rounds with Darren Elkins. And in his last fight, October 16th of 2021, he beat Ludovit Klein, who just a couple weeks ago got a big win. So in this one, I got to stick with Nate the Train Landwehr. That is my pick for the co-main event for UFC San Diego. Going with the underdog there, my first underdog pick. All right, and this one's really interesting. We have 2 fighters with their UFC Octagon debut. Yasmine Waragiu, and also Yasmine Luciendo in a women's strawweight bout. A couple things about these fighters. Yasmine Waragiu, 23-year-old coming from Guadalajara, Mexico. She is 8-0 in her pro fights leading up to this. Yasmine Luciendo is 20 years old from Brazil, 13-4 pro fights in her pro fights. And this one is so interesting because there's absolutely no information about these two ladies here coming into this one, except, you have their win by percentages, 75% for Warriaju and 62% for Luciendo in their win by knockout categories, which is fantastic. You'd love to see that. Only 23% to 25% in their decision. So I think this one, we're going to see a finish. I think these ladies are going to come out and put on a show. And I'm really excited because, this is on the main card. This is a primetime spot. This is a big fight for these two ladies. And I think they're going to come out and bring it, which I'm very excited to see. With the experience factor, although Yasmine Luciendo is a couple years younger, she's only 20 years old. She's been in more pro MMA fights than her counterpart here. Although Warriaju, I'm interested to learn how to say that because I know I'm butchering it right now. She's 8-0 in her last, in all of her pro fights, undefeated. But I just think Luciendo has more experience. She's more versatile coming into this one. And really in a fight that could be a coin flip, I got to go with Yasmine Luciendo in this one. So I think this one's going to be fun to watch. Again, this whole card right off the rip, all these fights are difficult to pick. But after doing the research and after really looking at it, I'm confident in my picks here, and I think I know what's going on. So in this next one, we have a light heavyweight bout between Devin Clark, the plus 135 underdog, and Osmant Mirzakhanov, the minus 155 favorite. Little bit about these fighters. Devin Clark, debuted July of 2016. He is a wrestler. Mirzakhanov debuted November of 2021. He is an all-around mixed martial artist, undefeated, 11-0 in his pro career, 8 wins by knockout and 8 first-round finishes. Getting into it, Devin Clark 13-6 coming into this one. Both fighters coming off of a win. The reach advantage in Devin Clark's favor, and getting into the striking numbers. 3.08 landed per minute at a 57% strike rate for Devin Clark. I love those numbers. 2.69 at a 43% strike rate for Mirzakhanov. And also his absorb per minute is higher at a 3.42. Although his defense at 56%. So in my eyes, the striking numbers go in Devin Clark's favor. And then you get down to the grappling numbers. 2.48 at a 35% takedown accuracy for Clark, 53% takedown defense, only 1.09 over 15 minutes at a 16% takedown accuracy for Osmant. And just seeing that, if I'm playing by the numbers, I've seen what Devin Clark can do. I've seen him fight before. I like what Devin Clark has to offer. And he's got more UFC octagon experience. He's fought a lot of good guys and coming off of a win in his last fight, a third-round knockout. So personally, I'm going to go with Devin Clark in this one, although again, another very difficult fight to pick when you have your undefeated Osmant Mirzakhanov coming into this one. Although his UFC debut, I think, was rather easy. And so getting into this one, I think it's going to be a real challenge for him. And it's time for him to show up, or we'll see what happens. But Devin Clark's my pick in this one. I like what he's got to offer. And I think this is a really good pick. Fantastic. Going further down the card, our next fight is between this is the rematch fight. This was set to happen last week in UFC Vegas 59. Ariane Lipsky unable to make weight and then was hospitalized and so this fight was, rescheduled just a week later, which kind of, makes me think, is Ariane Lipsky really going to be prepared coming into this fight? You can't click on it. We're not going to be able to see any of their numbers. But what I will be able to say is Priscilla Zombie Girl Cajuera debuted February of 2018. Her fight style is a brawler. She's got 6 wins by knockout. And coming into this fight, she is 14 pounds heavier. Obviously, those numbers may have changed since last week. I don't know. But last time I checked, she was 14 pounds heavier, which if you've got a brawler nicknamed the Zombie Girl coming at you, she's got the heart. She's not going to give up no matter how hard you hit her. That could be a problem, and especially if she gets you up on the cage and just starts making this a dirty fight, where I think Ariane Lipsky has the technicality. She's a very good striker. That's her fight style. She is a striker. She debuted January of 2019. She's got the 2-inch reach advantage, which I know won't change since last week. 6 wins by knockout and 7 first-round finishes. So I really think she has the technicality, and I think she could piece her up. But if this goes into the later rounds, into the 3rd round, Priscilla's not going to give up. She's going to be tired, but she's going to keep coming forward and wear you down. So I really got to go with Priscilla, Zombie Girl, Cajuera in this one. So that was my pick last week, and I'm going to stick with it, especially with all the concerns of Ariane Lipsky being in the hospital, something with her weight cut, all of that kind of stuff. I don't want to even touch it, really. So I got to go with Zombie Girl here, who was my original pick, and I think we'll still get the win here. Next fight being a middleweight bout between Bruno Silva, the -285 favorite, and Gerald Meerschaert, the +240 underdog. A little bit about these guys. Silva debuted June of 2021. He is a striker, and he's got 19 wins by knockout. Gerald Meerschaert, the +245 underdog, coming into this one, debuted December of 2016. He is a freestyle fighter, and he's got 26 wins by submission, which is no small feat. Looking into it, 22-7, Bruno Silva coming into this one to Gerald Meerschaert's 34-15. Lots of time in the octagon, both coming off of losses in their last fight. The height advantage, 1 inch in Meerschaert's favor, and the reach advantage as well going to Meerschaert. Getting into the significant strikes here, 4.94 landed per minute at a 51% significant strike rate for Bruno Silva, 3.04 at a 44% rate for Meerschaert. The absorbed per minute is a little bit high here for Silva. I don't like what I'm seeing at a 4.79 to Meerschaert's 3.54 or 3.53. His defense at 51%, Gerald Meerschaert. The grappling numbers here are what I'm really looking at, and they're significantly in Meerschaert's favor at a 2.25 takedown average over 15 minutes for Meerschaert at a 40% takedown accuracy. But then you look at Bruno Silva here, he's got a 68% takedown defense. That's going to really hold some significance here in this fight if that's where Gerald Meerschaert's looking to take it. If he's going to be consistently trying to take him down, submit him, first of all, it's going to wear Bruno Silva down. And second of all, when you're tired and you're just caught in defending, that submission average of 1.77 from Meerschaert is going to come in handy. So truly, the numbers are telling me that if this goes to the ground, it's going to be a Meerschaert's game. I'm hoping that Bruno Silva can keep it on the feet with that 68% takedown defense and just keep striking away. And if that's the case, I think it's going to go to Bruno Silva. Something's just telling me that Gerald Meerschaert, after his last performance, I did not like what I saw. And it's just difficult to bet on somebody after, they just have a performance that really lets you down. And my confidence in Gerald Meerschaert going into this one is not high. Although those grappling numbers are fantastic, I just can't trust it. So I'm going to have to go with the -295 favorite in this one, Bruno Silva. All right, that's the main card, folks. There's a lot of exciting fights here. Again, all of these are going to be fantastic. All of these are going to be great fights. I'm really excited to see how they play out. and you should be too. Again, the main card starts at 7 p.m. Saturday, August 13th. Thank you for joining me. Again, if you like what we're doing here, like, comment. That's going to help push this video through the algorithm, which we really appreciate. Again, we're trying to build a community of former UFC fans, current UFC fans. People are just getting into it. Anybody who's interested in UFC, I just want to be able to conversate and, ask questions or bring anything to light, because it's all love here, and it's all in the name of having fun. So again, we'll see how that main card plays out on UFC Fight Night San Diego. I'm very excited. But now we're going to get into the prelims for all those true UFC fans who are watching at 4 p.m. The when the prelims start. Because again, I love how I think from each and every one of these fights, there's something to be learned. There's something that you can see here out of all these fighters. Again, and especially when I'm making these picks, of course, I want to see how everybody does. I want to build up my history, and I want to build up my knowledge of all of these fighters so I can best bring forth not only the information, but my intuition on the picks and everything that comes with it. So I love watching the prelims as well as the main card. The anticipation just really builds, and so you can find me each and every time, right on time for the prelims. Anyway, enough rambling from me. We're going to get right into the featured bout for the prelim. Number 13, Angela Hill, the plus 250 favorite, and Lupi Godinez, the minus 300, Angela Hill is the plus 250 underdog to Lupi Godinez, the minus 300 favorite, which is pretty staggering here at a catch weight. For Lupi to have such a large line on her. But I like what I'm seeing. A little bit about these fighters. Angela Hill debuted December of 2014. She is a Muay Thai specialist. She is 37 years old. To Lupi Godinez, who is 28. That's a 9-year difference. Godinez debuted April of 2021, and she's got a boxing background, which I think is going to make for a really fun fight in this one. Getting into it, 8-2 coming into this one for Lupi Godinez, 13-12, the record for Angela Overkill Hill. Angela Hill coming into this one, her last fight was a loss. Lupi Godinez coming off of a win. The reach advantage heavily in Angela Hill's favor. Getting into the strikes, the striking numbers here, 5.34. At a 49% significant strike rate, which is not bad at all. But Lupi Godinez is 2.23 at a 57% significant strike rate. And as well as her 1.73 absorbed is incredible. So I see the absorbed rate is very high for Hill here. Lupi comes from a boxing background. I think that's going to be a big problem, because I do think this one is going to stay on the feet. I think Angela Hill is going to try to fight her standing up. And I think it's going to prove to be a problem, because you see here, Lupi Godinez has a 5.37 takedown average over 15 minutes at a 46% takedown accuracy. That is incredible. Although Angela Hill has a 76% takedown defense, which is really high, I think she beats her on the feet, and I think she beats her on the ground as well. So I think in all ways here, rightfully so, Lupi Godinez should be the favorite in this fight at a heavy number. And I mean, she beats her on the feet, she beats her on the ground. I think this one's clear cut. Lupi Godinez takes the cake here. Getting into our next one, a heavyweight bout, which this one I'm very excited for. Martin Biddy and Lucas Brzezky. Brzezky, this is his UFC debut. He is a Dana White Contender Series contract recipient. Martin Biddy, I believe, is well a Dana White Contender Series contract recipient. But Biddy fought Chris Bennett in his UFC debut and put on a show, knocking Bennett out, I do believe. So we know Biddy has the goods, and he has what it takes. I think this one's going to be a really fun fight to watch. Biddy debuted April maybe not. No, it wasn't April of 22, because this is not his debut. But he is a jiu-jitsu specialist, which I will get into soon. But he's on a 9-fight win streak, and let's get into it here. 10-1 coming into this one, 8-1-1 with 1 no contest for Lucas. Win in his last fight for Martin Biddy. The reach going to be in Brzezky's favor by 1 inch, getting into the significant strike rates here. 5.78 at a 53% significant strike rate is great numbers. Those are great numbers. But to Biddy's 4.77 at a 72 significant strike rate is out of this world. And also his absorb per minute is better at a 2.17, although 3.1 is not bad. The defense very similar there. Now the takedown average is what is kind of swaying me here. 2.17 takedown average at a 66% takedown accuracy for Brzezky at 100% takedown defense. So I don't see Martin Biddy trying to take this one to the ground, although he's a jiu-jitsu specialist. Because you see here the submission average for Brzezky is 2.17. I just think that is overwhelming. So overall, what I'm seeing here is Martin Biddy takes it on the feet with a 72% strike rate at 4.77. I love what I'm seeing, and his absorb per minute is lower. And although it looks overwhelming, as the numbers are big for Lucas Brzezky here, 2.17 takedown average, 66% takedown accuracy, is he going to be trying to take down a jiu-jitsu specialist? You know what I mean? I think Biddy is comfortable standing and throwing mitts with this guy on the feet. And if it goes to the ground, which, it might, I don't think he'll be uncomfortable there either. So I think this is a really good matchup for Biddy, and I think it's going to be a true test for him. But I think he's going to take the win. Martin Biddy is my pick for this fight here, although it's difficult to bet against Lucas Brzezky here. I really, really think this one could go either way, although my bet is on Martin Biddy here. And just because I think he's more well-rounded in this fight, but I think it's going to be a banger of a fight. I think this one I'm going to be looking forward to, and I hope you are too. So Martin Biddy takes my pick there, leading us into the women's flyweight bout. Number 12, Cynthia Calvillo, number 12 in the women's flyweight, and number 9, Nina Nunes. Couple things about these fighters here. Cynthia Calvillo debuted March of 2017. She's a freestyle fighter, while Nina Nunes debuted November of 2014. She is a striker. Looking at this matchup, 9-4-1 for Cynthia, 10-7 for Nina Nunes coming into this one, both coming off of losses in their last fight. Similar in reach, just a 1-inch height advantage for Nina Nunes. And the leg reach, 2 inches for Nina Nunes. So if she can stay out there and maybe throw some calf kicks, that could really benefit for her. The landed per minute, 4.64 at a 47% significant strike rate for Nina Nunes to Cynthia's 4.27 at a 40% significant strike rate. The absorb per minute is very similar, but going in at Nina Nunes' favor at 3.15 or 3.5. 64% defense going in Cynthia's way. 1.75 takedown average over 15 minutes at a 43% takedown accuracy to 0.28 for Nina Nunes at a 40% takedown accuracy. I don't think Nunes is going to want to take this one to the ground. Her takedown defense is 76%. Both of these ladies have a good takedown defense, 73 for Cynthia Calvillo. And the submission average is there for both of them, almost 1 per 15 minutes for Cynthia, 0.5 for Nina Nunes. So if this one goes to the ground, I think Cynthia might have the slight advantage on the ground. But if it stays on the feet, I think Nina Nunes has the potential to piece her up and really take a hold of this fight. So I'm going to have to take my pick and go with Nina Nunes in this prelim fight. Moving forward, a lightweight bout between Gabriel Benitez, the -350 favorite, and Charlie Ontiveros, the +290 underdog. A little bit about these two fighters coming into this one. Gabriel Benitez debuted November of 2014. He is a striker, and Charlie Ontiveros debuted October of 2020. The American bad boy, I think that's quite funny. He is a freestyle fighter. or he is actually a Taekwondo specialist. Charlie Ontiveros is, and getting into the details here: 22-11 record for Gabriel Benitez, 11-8 for Charlie Ontiveros, both coming off of losses in their last fight. The height advantage going in Ontiveros' favor, and the reach will follow at a 7-inch reach advantage. Wow. Interesting. We look here at the significant strike numbers here. 4.6 landed per minute at a 40% significant strike rate to a 0.7 landed per minute at a 32% significant strike rate for Charlie Ontiveros. I mean, that is just not looking good, especially with your absorbed per minute so high at 4.6, although Gabriel Benitez at a 4.98, damn near 4, which is still pretty high for both of these gentlemen. But for his defense, Ontiveros to be at 26% to Gabriel Benitez's 65, I don't like what I'm seeing here for Charlie Ontiveros. The takedown average, very slim for both of these guys. Takedown accuracy, 50% for Benitez, 58% takedown defense for Benitez. And also, if it goes to the ground, 1.12 submission average over 15 minutes. So I'm not sure why there just isn't that much, info on this Ontiveros fellow. Let's look at his last fights. He's fought two very good fighters, so I can understand why there's not that much data, because both of his fights ended very quickly. So, for your first fight to be against Kevin Holland, I understand he gets submitted in the first round. And then to face Jeff Garcia October 9th of 2021 and to get knocked out in the second round, I get it. So he's fought two very good fighters. So I guess I got to give him a little bit more credit than I am. But again, I don't feel comfortable in putting money on somebody with a 0.7, landed per minute and a 32% significant strike rate. The numbers just are too bad for me to even give him a chance. So my pick's going to be with Gabriel Benitez here in this one, the minus 350 favorite. All right, moving on to another exciting one. This one is pretty early in the prelims, which is surprising because anytime you get to watch Ode Osborne fight, it is very exciting. In our flyweight bout, Ode Osborne, the minus 240 favorite, and Tyson Nam, the plus 200 underdog. Ode Osborne coming into this one 11-4 with one no contest. He debuted July of 2019. He is a striker with 8 first-round finishes. Tyson Nam, coming into this one 20-12-1. He debuted September of 2019. He is a freestyle fighter, and I will note he is 38 years old coming into this one. Tyson Nam, a loss in his last fight, a win for Ode Osborne. The reach advantage heavily in Ode Osborne's favor, although they are both 5'7", and the leg reach as well. Looking at the significant strikes here, 4.82 landed per minute at a 44% significant strike rate to Tyson Nam's 3.64 at a 31% significant strike rate. The 5.69 absorbed per minute is a little bit alarming for me. That is pretty large. But, to Ode Osborne's 4.99, basically 5. Both of these gentlemen not impressing me with the absorbed per minute numbers there. And then looking at the grappling numbers, 1.05 takedown average over 15 at a 25% takedown accuracy. Now, to Tyson Nam's 100% takedown defense, which is quite alarming when you look. Let's see how many fights this guy's had in the UFC. 100% takedown defense over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming into 6 fights in the UFC is pretty impressive. So, again, I don't think Ode Osborne's going to try to take this one to the ground. I think this is going to be more of a stand-up and bang type of fight. And if that's the case, the numbers are in Ode Osborne's favor. And I think he's exciting. I like what he's doing. He's on the come-up. I've got to go with Ode Osborne in this one. And I feel pretty comfortable about that pick. So, excited to see that one. Pretty early on in the prelims there, just the second fight. And the first fight, the one that's going to be leading off the UFC San Diego card, Youssef Zalal and Damon Blackshear in a bantamweight bout. Couple things about these fighters. Youssef Zalal coming into this one 10-5, with Damon Blackshear, this being his UFC debut. Although Zalal debuted February of 2020. He is a freestyle fighter, but he is on a 3-fight losing streak. He's hoping to turn things around here against Damon Blackshear. In his UFC debut, he's on a 4-fight win streak, Blackshear coming into this one, and he's got 8 wins by submission. So he's 12-4 in his pro career, and I'm excited for this one. I think this one could be interesting. The Moroccan Devil, Youssef Zalal, on a 3-fight losing streak, coming to this one. He needs that. He needs something here. And Damon Blackshear is trying to make a name for himself in his UFC debut. So I think both of these fighters have a lot that they're fighting for, which I think could make for a really exciting fight. And getting into it, the height, very similar for both of these gentlemen. The reach, just 0.5 in Damon Blackshear's favor. Getting into the significant strikes here, obviously we're not going to have very much information for Blackshear here because it's his UFC debut. But for Zalal, 2.51 landed per minute at a 50% significant strike rate. I like those numbers. That's great. His absorb per minute, extremely low, 1.74. Love to see it at a 64% defense. Now his takedown average, 2.33 at a 29% takedown accuracy. Not the best on the accuracy, but at least he's attempting takedowns, and his takedown defense, 56%. And then that submission average over 15 minutes, 1.17, which lets me know he's comfortable down there. He's going to be throwing things up, which, are going to make that fighter think twice about taking him down. Nobody wants to be defending a submission for an entire round, get up just to get taken back down. So it's going to be really interesting, this fight, in my opinion. Although there's just not a lot about Damon Blackshear, I'm going to have to go with Damon Blackshear in this fight. I think Youssef Zalal coming into this one in a 3-fight losing streak, his confidence may be a little beaten up. He's defeated. And really, I just like I like the idea of his debut coming in here against somebody who's a little vulnerable right now, I guess. And I think Damon Blackshear is going to get the win in this first fight of the UFC San Diego card. So I'm very excited to see how this one plays out. I'll be my ass in the seat, ready to see how this one plays out at 4 p.m. on Saturday, August 13th. This has been Throwin Mitts. Again, if you really like what we're doing here, please subscribe, like, comment, get this video out there in the algorithm. And thank you all for watching, and this has been a lot of fun. I'll see you next week.